Hello and welcome in.
Please do not leave your luggage unattended on the station.
Welcome to the show. Good morning, everybody. Jesse Montaño here. Guerilla Sports Daily. Wednesday. I almost said Tuesday. Look at that. I got a free day this week. I thought it was Tuesday all morning. Wednesday morning here, October 16th. I'll be heading over to Avs morning skate. We got an Avalanche regular season game at Ball Arena. Look, I know the season hasn't started the way they wanted, the way the fans have wanted. I'm just happy to be back at the rink. We'll be heading over there this morning, checking out what the Avs got going on over there. For my Avs folks just tuning in real quick, Matthew Steinberg recalled instead of Chris Wagner. So we'll have another youngster in the lineup tonight. Looking forward to chatting with him this morning, seeing how he's feeling. And we'll see if the Avs can't get this one on track. The Edmonton Oilers win a game last night. Have to come back in dramatic fashion on the Philadelphia Flyers to win in overtime. But it is now the Avalanche and the Nashville Predators as the only teams without a point yet this season. We'll see if the Avs can fix that tonight. But we got a lot to get into this morning. Like I said, I do have to get over to morning skates. We might keep it a little bit tight this morning. Might shorten things up a bit. We'll see how good I am at my job here. We got Jay back there running the board for you guys. Always doing just an outstanding job, making my life easier. Let's get into things today. We're going to be talking NFL. We're going to touch a little bit of MLB, wrap up with NHL, and then we'll talk about a report coming out of the WNBA. But kicking things off, Tom Brady. It was reported about a year and a half ago that he was looking to get in on ownership stake with the Las Vegas Raiders. It has become official today after about 18 months. Tom Brady is now a 5% owner in the Las Vegas Raiders. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell came out this morning and said it's great to have Tom Brady back involved in the league, that it feels right to have Tom Brady involved in the NFL. And look, I do. I like the fact that Tom Brady is staying involved. This is a guy who, whether you liked him or hated him as a player, is the greatest quarterback that's ever played in the NFL. He's the most decorated quarterback that's played in the NFL. And it's nice to have him continue to be involved, especially in a market like Las Vegas that is a booming professional sports town right now. When the Vegas Golden Knights went there a few years ago, gosh, we're closing in on a decade there. I believe this is year 8 for the Vegas Golden Knights, which is absolutely crazy. But when the Vegas Golden Knights went there was a lot of folks who said, man, I don't know if this is going to work. It's going to be all visiting fans. No locals are actually going to want to go to any of these games. It has been the exact opposite so far for both the Golden Knights and the Raiders. And I like the fact that Tom Brady is getting involved there. However, Tom Brady's role in the broadcasting booth with Fox Sports does complicate things just a little bit. You know, it's I guess it doesn't really complicate things for Tom Brady. He continues to be an owner of the Raiders, and he gets to be in the booth doing color commentary for Fox. However, Tom Brady will not, unlike most broadcasters, let alone national broadcasters at this level, he will not be allowed to attend in-person or online broadcast production meetings and may not have access to team facilities, players, or coaches. So again, when we're around, whether it be professional hockey, professional football, college football, basketball, typically the national broadcast not only gets access to all of those things, but they usually get even additional access, exclusive access to certain players, coaches, or areas of facilities that the standard media is not allowed. Well, Tom Brady, being a partial owner for a competitor of 31 other teams, is not going to get those allowances. His ownership stake in the Raiders will affect what he is and is not allowed to see and do as a broadcaster. So basically, he will continue to be in the booth, offering his expertise, which is what Fox really cares about, is Tom Brady's what he's got to say, what he thinks about the games, but will not be doing the standard, going down in the morning and talking to guys and getting in the room and, shooting back and forth with players and, getting some inside information that can help him in the broadcast booth. Can't do any of that, given that he is an owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. I thought the funniest last caveat of this that was put out by the NFL is this does officially make it so that Tom Brady cannot come back as a player unless he sells his minority ownership stake. But 47 years old, Tom Brady, he is now sat out multiple seasons. I think it's safe to say he's done, and he will happily collect the checks from Fox and continue as a minority owner in the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's move on here. We talked yesterday about Davante Adams to the Jets, and that trade coming on the heels of a Jets 23-20 loss to the Buffalo Bills. Well, the Bills said, anything you can do, I can do at least just as good. Amari Cooper heading to the Buffalo Bills from the Cleveland Browns to the Bills. Amari Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round pick, and back to the Browns, a 2025 third-round pick and a seventh-round selection in 2026. Look, I mean, I'm sure this deal was somewhat in the works, given that it comes within the same 24-hour window as the Davante Adams deal. But you can't help but feel a little bit like this is one of those, hey, the Jets are a team that, despite their struggles early on, that is a contending team that the Bills would have to go through to get to the Super Bowl. And you can just tell that they're saying, yeah, if you guys are gearing up, we're doing the same thing. Amari Cooper, maybe not quite on the same level as a Davante Adams, given that Davante Adams led the league in receptions last year, first team All-Pro, this, that, and the other. 5-time Pro Bowler. Amari Cooper, 11 years in the NFL, a little bit more of a veteran player. But look, this is a wide receiver one for the Cleveland Browns, no doubt about it. The Buffalo Bills got better. Man, how bad do you want to see the Buffalo Bills just have some success? Not even for the team, but for the fans. I am such an advocate for Buffalo sports fans. Those are some of the most dedicated fans in North America, and they just get their hearts broken every year. Or if you're a Sabres fan, you just get nothing. You get nothing for dinner every night. But the Buffalo Bills do land Amari Cooper off to a different start than the New York Jets, who, like we talked about yesterday, are firing their head coach, making big trades, doing anything they can to get back on track. The Bills sit at 4-2, maybe should be 5-1. That's neither here nor there. The Browns have been shopping Cooper a little bit, and that is initially what kind of made me say, look, I'm sure that the Bills had at least touched base on this before, but it's been known the Browns were looking to maybe get a return for Amari Cooper. This season has not gotten off to the start that they have wanted. Just 1-5 so far. And it's been a slow start for Amari Cooper as a result of that, with Deshaun Watson under center there. Not really sure what's going on with him. But it was known that the Browns were maybe going to try to kickstart some of this a little bit, start getting some assets in. You just won't convince me that the Bills didn't see what the Jets did and say, yeah, we need to try to do everything we can, because while the Jets aren't off to the start that they want, there is plenty of season left here for them to figure it out, especially given the addition of Davante Adams. I like it. I like to see these arms races, especially against, within teams that have to go head to head, that have to go through each other to get to where they want to go. You can tell, the Jets are really hoping for a soon Aaron Rodgers bounce back. Like they're waiting for that to start at any moment now. But they believe that they've got a team that can push. And the Bills, like I said, anything you can do, we can do better. Bills are looking to continue to build on a great start. These two teams, both in the AFC East, will see each other again this season. And like I said, have to go through one another if they want to get to where they want to go, which is a Super Bowl championship. Arms raced out in the AFC East. Let's shift gears here. Technically shifting over to the MLB, but we're not talking about the games. We're talking about the lasting effects of Hurricane Milton on Tropicana Field. Everyone saw these videos and images going around last week. Or was that 2 weeks ago, Jay? No, it was last week, right? Yeah, it was last week. Horrible. Just horrible images, especially on the heels of Hurricane Helene, which was just the week before. These images of Tropicana Field where the Tampa Bay Rays play, it's a dome. It's got the soft tarp dome on the roof, just shredded. Just absolutely shredded by the hurricane. There was like 2 panels that were left semi-intact, but both ripped, had holes, things like that. Everything else is just an extension of what you're seeing here. Absolutely shredded. Here's the issue. It was announced this morning by the Tampa Bay Rays that Tropicana Field will not be ready for the start of the 2025 season. And in fact, there's a little bit of a meeting of the minds going on right now because they're not exactly sure how to handle this. See, this would cost to repair for a facility of this size, for a weatherproofed roof of this capacity, given that you see it's got to be weatherproof, would be in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions, to get adequately fixed and replaced. First of all, they can't do it in time for the start of the season come next April, June. Not going to be ready in time. April, May, skipped a month there. April, May, not going to be ready. So the immediate question is, well, where do the Tampa Bay Rays play? The other issue with this is, if you're the Tampa Bay Rays or the owners of this facility, are you wanting to pay for a new tens of million dollar deal roof, when in 2028 the Tampa Bay Rays are slated to open up in a new ballpark in the Tampa Bay area either way? So we are 3 baseball seasons out from the Tampa Bay Rays moving to a brand new facility altogether. Brand new stadium top to bottom. So what do you decide to do with this current field? How do you handle this? Because I wouldn't want to spend $100 million fixing a problem that I only need for 2 years. It's going to be interesting to see what the Rays do here. There are a couple of smaller minor league ballparks, spring training ballparks in the Tampa area that you could go to. I saw a couple suggestions floating around this morning for a couple 10 to 11,000 person stadiums, again, that are in the immediate area. But you sit there and it's like, okay, the roof is what's unusable. You're in Florida. It's hot, the sun, like you probably need something indoors. Do you just clean it and utilize Tropicana Field when you can, when the weather permits, and otherwise play at the smaller minor league stadiums? I don't know. The Oakland A's are already playing in a minor league stadium, and for the next couple of years while their Vegas brand new stadium is built. And there were a lot of folks on the internet this morning suggesting, hey, why doesn't the Oakland Coliseum give a call to the Tampa Bay Rays and say, we've got a full empty ballpark that you could play at, great weather all season? Logistics on that would be an absolute nightmare. You got a 3-hour time difference between Tampa Bay and Oakland. Players who live in Tampa Bay, their home games would suddenly be on the opposite side of the country. There's a whole mess of logistical nightmare issues for why I don't think that would work. But it's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out. But we do know as of this morning, Tropicana Field not ready to go for the 2025 MLB season. Speaking of Tampa Bay, the Lightning have kicked off their season this year in the NHL and are offering tickets, discounted tickets, to first responders for the first 3 home games, the first of which was last night against the Vancouver Canucks, the next of which will be tomorrow against the Vegas Golden Knights, and the last one October 24th when they welcome in the Minnesota Wild. This is part of their Tampa Bay Strong Initiative, the graphic that you see here on screen. Part of that initiative, with those discounted tickets, they're offering lower and club level seats available at a starting price, all in, fees and everything included, $75. Upper level tickets, just $25. They also gave away almost 1,000 tickets to first responders. So the discounted tickets as part of the Tampa Bay Strong Initiative are available for everybody. Anybody can get those for the first 3 games. That's a gesture being made toward the community. They did give away, like I said, hundreds of tickets, close to 1,000 to first responders for free to some games here coming up for the Tampa Bay Lightning. John Cooper, the head coach, was asked about it. I believe it was yesterday, perhaps the day before at practice, but I believe it was yesterday after morning skate. People just talking about, making this type of gesture towards the community. And John Cooper said that to him, it's the team and the organization's duty to do something like that, to be able to acknowledge the folks, first responders who put themselves in harm's way, but then also to acknowledge that they are part of this community, the same as everyone else who's going through it. The Tampa Bay Lightning are just part of that. Lightning captain Victor Hedman has also donated $150,000 to the Tampa Bay Police Department and Coast Guard Foundation as a thanks for their efforts in response to the hurricane last week. So the city of Tampa still reeling a bit here, trying to pick up the pieces and put their town back together. Tampa Bay Lightning trying to make a small gesture to help everyone get on with the healing. Sticking with the NHL here, heading a little bit north of Tampa Bay, Alexander Ovechkin, who is officially on record watch. He is chasing down Wayne Gretzky's record, 43 goals shy of the all-time NHL goals record, a record many thought would never even come close to being touched. Alex Ovechkin, who has, I don't even know how many 40-goal seasons under his belt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 40-plus goal seasons under his belt since coming into the league in 2006. Has a chance. Now, just 31 goals last year, his lowest in several years since the COVID-shortened season. But he's got a chance to do it. But right now, he looks like he's chasing down the all-time assist record. 3 helpers through his first 2 games, putting Alex Ovechkin in the illustrious, exclusive 700 and 700 club. Just 6 players in NHL history have scored 700 goals and potted 700 assists to go along with it. Alex Ovechkin continues to cement his legacy in the NHL as one of the all-time greatest players to ever own a pair of hockey skates. And for my money, and really, I don't even think this is much of a question anymore, the greatest goal scorer in the history of the game. As soon as he knocks off the record, it'll only be official by title. Everyone knows Alex Ovechkin, given the quality of the competition, the quality of the goaltenders, and all of that, the way he's been able to score goals, 853 to this point in his career, he is the greatest goal scorer of all time. And now 700 assists to go along with it. 6th player of all time to put 700 in the net himself and assist on 700 as well. Let's round things out for today by switching over. Actually, no, we're not switching over. Jump my own list here. I jumped my own list. My favorite story of the day. We have a goalie goal, folks. Philip Gustofson, Minnesota Wild, last night with the empty net, took the suggestion from his teammate Marc-Andre Fleury on the bench, who said, hey, if you get a chance, the net's empty, go for it. Philip Gustofson did just that, sank it right down the middle. I wanted to tell you guys, first goalie goal since, but we're on a streak here, folks. 3 seasons in a row, we have seen a goalie goal, and Philip Gustofson doing it early this year means we got time for more. Linus Ullmark did it 2 seasons ago for the Boston Bruins. Tristan Jarry did it last season for the Pittsburgh Penguins. And now last night, Philip Gustofson on an empty net to put his team up 4-1. Philip Gustofson got a huddle from his teams, went through, did the fist bump down the bench. I absolutely loved it. I've never understood. St. Louis Blues had the net empty, and their player dumped it in on net. I've never gotten that. I can get maybe if you're trying to force a goalie to cover a puck and get a face-off, but I wouldn't send it in from the neutral zone and give him plenty of time to catch it, drop it, and shoot it. Gustafson sailed it over top of 2 St. Louis defensemen to put it into the empty net. We can't show the clip here for rights reasons, but I highly recommend you all go check it out. All right, now rounding out the day, before I head on over to morning skate for the Avalanche WNBA, looking at one more team for expansion by 2028, although they would prefer if this new expansion team could jump in by 2027. We all know they have a few teams already joining here over the next 2 seasons. And there's a new list of 4 markets that are in the hunt, while there are a couple others who will be putting in bids. But right now, it sounds like the 4 cities that are most heavily being considered: Denver, Nashville, Philadelphia, and South Florida. I think Denver would be such a smart idea, just with the amount of hype around the Denver Nuggets right now that have really caused folks in this town to embrace basketball in a way that they never have. I think putting a WNBA team here would make a ton of sense. Nashville, Philadelphia both make sense. Reports are that Philadelphia is among the cities making the strongest push to the WNBA to bring a team to the city of brotherly love. And then South Florida, there's a few different cities, as well as a couple Central Florida cities that are in the running for that as well. Jacksonville, Orlando, then Miami would be the city in South Florida that would be exploring a bid as well. But we will keep an eye on this one as numbers continue to impress for the WNBA, averaging 1.3 million viewers for Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Still quite a bit short of the 2.2 million viewers that Caitlin Clark averaged in her first 2 first-round playoff games, but still massive increase, about 142% up from last year's WNBA Finals. That's going to do it for us here, you guys. What's tomorrow? Thursday, we got Ruben here on Daily for Thursday, and then Liv will take you guys home on Friday, but it's also Denver Broncos Day tomorrow, so we got all kinds of content coming your guys' way for that. We'll have an episode of Off Field coming this afternoon, and then everything from Ball Arena as the Avs take on the Boston Bruins tonight. We will have it all for you guys right here on Guerilla Sports. For Jay running the board, I'm Jesse Montaño. This is Guerilla Sports Daily. We will talk to you guys tomorrow.